And good morning. Welcome to another edition of the Sports Guys for the week of June 23rd, 2025. I'm your host, Christian Gibbons, and here my panel, Steve Bainey, Chuck
Good
Hiller,
day.
Rod Calgren. And guys, I know you guys didn't get to see a lot of the sports over the weekend, which is very frustrating, but it was a big sports weekend. But we're going to start with our trivia question. So the Oklahoma City Thunder won the NBA championship last night, beating the Pacers 103-91. So the trivia question is, when was the last year that the Detroit Pistons won the NBA championship, the Larry O'Brien Trophy? So think about that, ponder that, and we'll answer that later on in
That's
the
a
show.
good one.
Brian
Yeah.
School.
It's been a while.
Yeah, man.
I don't think it's as long as you think, Chuck, based on that reaction. All right, so let's get started. The Tigers had a disappointing series against Tampa, down in Tampa over the weekend, weather-wise and score-wise. We'll have Steve get into some of the scores, but before they went to Tampa, they were home against Pittsburgh,
There you go.
and they won 7-3, won 9-2, and then lost in 10 innings, 4-8 over the Pittsburgh Pirates. And the Pittsburgh Pirates are not that great. So then they went to Tampa, and Steve will talk about that in a minute. And then really quick, the Panthers won the Stanley Cup yet again
There you go.
for a repeat, and the Thunder, as we said earlier, won the NBA championship. So Steve, I know you've got some scores and some highlights, and I assume you have some College World Series to talk about too.
Oh, a little bit. Yeah, we kind of got the Tigers pretty well covered. They were down in Tampa, like you say, and have struggled a little bit. That, like I say, the game on Friday, they lost 14-8. And then they went on to Saturday that they lost 8-3. So they were giving up a lot of hits, but they came back on Sunday, won 9-3. So they avoided a 4-game losing streak. They only lost 3 in a row. So, but I mean, as well as they're doing, like I say, we've been talking all along throughout the year that I mean they're due for a streak where they're going to have some miserable play, but. Like I say, they keep bouncing back pretty quickly, so that's always good.
Their record, percentage-wise, is the best in the major leagues.
Right?
And
No doubt.
and the nice thing is we had the whole month of May and some of June to ramp up, so we have a little room to.
Oh, plenty of work.
They're
to do,
getting
yeah,
ready.
especially the division.
Ready to break the 50 mark.
Yeah, we're getting there, and you mentioned the division. What a joke!
Yeah.
What a joke the Central.
Well, they got 10 games up or something.
Yeah,
it's like,
that's,
holy smokes.
Cleveland's supposed to be better than that. You know, I'm not a Guardians fan. I'm not an Ohio fan, but
Right.
come on, Cleveland, step it up.
At least make it a little bit
Yeah,
competitive,
right,
you know?
yeah.
But on Tuesday, we had the finals for the Stanley Cup, and the Florida Panthers in game number 6 went up won 5-1 to repeat as Stanley Cup champions. They say they kind of took it to Edmond, and they had Reinhardt had 4 goals.
Yeah,
Wow,
it just,
you know? Yeah.
They were pretty excited carrying that
Oh.
big cup around
Yeah,
all
no
over.
doubt.
Yeah.
And then they
Yeah,
had
we got one, too.
they have Sam Bennett was the Conn Smythe winner, MVP for the playoff series. So they had a really nice finish to their season, and the Edmonton Oilers got to go back to Canada with nothing again. Canada's had a rough streak up there.
I'm
they haven't
pretty
won
sure they've might have won one Stanley Cup in my lifetime.
yeah.
Not entirely sure.
It goes way back for sure.
why
but,
is
There's a
Southern,
good trivia question.
Yeah.
for
There you
why
go.
is Southern being so strong? Was it because they got their people in the draft that did it?
Well, I mean the Lightning have been around long enough. The Panthers have been around long enough. I don't think it's that anymore. I think it's just good management.
Right.
You know, the Panthers have they have Matthew Tkachuk,
Yeah.
and they have all these excellent players. They have an outstanding goaltender, and I think they've just taken the step forward where the Red Wings just haven't. You know.
Boy, they sure have.
I think some of the players really want to get to Florida.
Yeah.
You know, 'cause like I say, it's interesting.
particularly the hockey ones, who are usually in the real cold weather.
Yeah, if you grew up in
Yeah.
northern Alberta, you'd like to spend a little time in
Yeah,
Florida,
they
right?
think maybe that warm weather would appeal to me.
Yeah, because between the Panthers and the Lightning, that they've had quite
Like
a
the
run
last
at
4
the.
or 5 Stanley Cup
Yeah,
series have had a Florida team in it, I think, or something
right,
like that.
right.
So.
Yeah, so Florida's doing
Yeah.
great, and I say now you go up to Canada and they haven't done nothing for
Yeah.
Did
quite a while. Yeah, so that's always interesting. But they also had the NBA playoffs this week. Game number 5, Oklahoma won 120 to 109. Indy had 23 turnovers.
Yeah,
Seems
that'll,
like
lose you, that'll lose you a game 7 real quick.
Yeah, because it seems to me that most of the games are determined by the number of turnovers. That Halliburton had of course, he was nursing a calf, but had only 4 points.
Yeah, and then he got injured early in the game, and it did not look pretty. He was out the
Yeah,
rest of the
yeah,
game.
like I say, that was game 7 when he got hurt the Achilles, but he had that calf that he was nursing. Game 6, that Indy came back though, and won 103 to 91. And Halliburton had 14 points with 5 assists, and Alexander had 21 points, 8 turnovers, and the team shot 27% from
Wow.
3-point.
That was
That is-
Indy in game 6?
No, that was Oklahoma.
Oh, Oklahoma. Oh, yeah.
For
that-
three
that-
Game
pointers.
6, and they had
Yeah.
21 turnovers.
Wow.
So, like I say, I mean, it's kind of been back and forth who controls the ball. And of course, in game number 7, Halliburton got hurt in the first quarter. I think they said it was an Achilles.
It looked.
Which-
They kept replaying it. I wish they hadn't, because it
Yeah.
was just gross to watch.
Yeah, like I say, that's an Achilles, and like I say, that's a long time healer.
I just wonder if it ever will be the same.
Yeah. But like I say, and then
Sounds
so
fine.
the Thunder wound up winning 103 to 91, and the Pacers got to go back home. But I mean, Pacers came out. I mean, to make it
They
to
came
the
out of
finals.
nowhere, yeah.
It's like, I mean, nobody was picking the Pacers to go anywhere.
That's right.
You know,
And
I
I'm
mean,
just glad they beat the Knicks.
there you go. Because like I say, I mean, they had to go through the Knicks. They had to go through Chicago. It's like, holy smokes, they had a heck of a road getting to the finals. So, yeah, so they did a heck of a job. And you know, like I say, if Halliburton had stayed healthy, it's like,
The Tides could have turned. You know,
yeah.
he could have went on a run, and there's your point
There-
differential
there-
right
Right.
there. Yeah.
there.
Yeah, because like I say, that they played very well in a 7-game series. So, but we also had the LSU Tigers win game number 2 out of 3. They never played number 3 against Coastal Carolina 5-3. So they won the Men's College World Series. And
you
we had-
know, the surprise of that series was Coastal Carolina
No
Yeah.
doubt.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
getting that
Cinderella.
far.
Yeah,
They
Cinderella, here we
really
go.
look good.
They had what, 26-game win streak going?
Yeah.
It's like, man, they were really cooking
Yeah,
coming in that
they
final
weren't
series.
expected to do much at all.
Right. Yeah. They did a great job. But we also had the Lakers. The Lakers sold a majority interest for $10 billion.
Billion. Oh
$10 billion.
wow.
And the Buss family, that she's going to stay in as governor,
Okay.
whatever a governor in the NBA is.
It's called just a title.
Yeah,
and
it's called.
and send me the check.
Yeah.
It's called I'm Jeannie Buss. My family's owned this team forever. I want money.
You know, and like I say, I mean, I mean, 10 million, and they don't own the whole
10
billion,
billion.
Million.
and they don't own the whole team.
It's hard to say $10 billion.
Who's the
It really
principal
sticks because I mean, billion is a
Wow.
number that's out of this world.
Who are the principal buyers of the team?
Single guy.
Whoa.
He owns, what was the other team he owned? Basketball team.
Wow.
Yeah. Single guy, $10 billion.
Mark Walter
There you go.
is the
Yeah,
majority
'cause,
owner.
I'm sure he had partners and stuff, but like I say, he was the guy that
Gosh.
laid the money on the table. So
CEO of Guggenheim Partners.
Oh, okay. There you go.
Just financial services
Yeah.
Uh,
yeah. That's,
firm.
Cool. So that about covered my my end of it.
All right, let's.
well, shall we go into talking about racing? That we're talking about something that we did not see too much of. I just saw Road America, and very happy to see it. Saw the prelims, you want to call them, the Xfinity series of down at Pocono, the little place that I just think is so great. It is great not only to go to see the game, but the communities around Pocono are so nice to go and visit the little places there. We went and visited many of the churches and talked to them there. And the churches kind of, at the time of the race, they kind of worked their services around that, shall we say.
You would think, you know.
I mean, the cooperation, maybe that's where they get most of their money too. Because,
Oh, the parking.
Of the thing there. But for the races this time around, who did we get? Okay, what did we get there? Who did we get at Pocono?
Let's see here. Chase Briscoe
Oh, yeah, Briscoe.
won at Pocono.
But Hamlin was the one that we thought was coming up.
Yeah, he should have won that race. He was on the pole for half of the first segment, and then just Chase Briscoe and Chris Buescher and all them were just so fast.
It was nip and tuck all the way.
Mhm.
Let's say that, he didn't poop out. He just ran out of
Ran out of
energy
steam.
to do it. Yeah. But the big worry was, of course, gasoline at the end there.
Yeah.
If they had enough. But a beautiful track. Pocono, beautiful track. And then I saw the Road America race. What a beautiful track in Wisconsin. How they can keep that up because of their winters and to have it so smooth. Of course, it's a double track. It's not only a normal racetrack, but a road course also.
Oh, wow.
But it is a favorite of almost everybody who goes there
Oh,
to
wow.
race. Not just some who say, I like this one because it's faster. The way it's made, the way they have the curves, gentle. Everything's gentle.
Oh.
But if one gets off slightly, you can go into the trees and say hello to the owls who are sitting up there
There you
looking
go.
down at the racetrack.
So you're saying the track is completely different than the streets of Detroit they raced a couple of weeks ago, as far as smoothness?
I would say yes.
Yeah.
I would say
No Michigan
it looks
potholes
like
in Wisconsin.
it looks like maybe they
There you go.
take care of them
Oh,
a little bit.
so you're saying not like our roads. Okay.
Oh.
What do we got over on golf?
Oh,
Rob.
yeah.
Well,
yeah.
the Travelers Tournament was played this week in Connecticut, because, of course, the Travelers are known as the big company in Hartford.
Oh, okay.
The defending champion was Keegan Bradley. And Keegan Bradley is the son of Pat Bradley, who was a famous pro.
Cut.
in
Cut.
Are we still recording on the Castus? Okay, then that's fine. We don't need the disc then. Yep.
Monday.
Go ahead.
Go
Oh.
ahead.
No, I was just saying that Keegan Bradley was the defending champ, and he ended up winning on the last hole, sinking a birdie putt that beat Tommy Fleetwood,
Yeah.
the Brit, who has never won a PGA tournament
Oh, wow.
Wow.
and who had been ahead for most of the first 3 days. So I was kind of sorry not to see him win because I liked
Sure,
Tommy
first-time guy.
Yeah,
Fleetwood.
and he's been on the tour for a while, so
Yeah.
he's
Well,
got
obviously
so
he's
Maybe
getting
heated.
he's
close.
waiting for the Open,
Yeah.
so who knows?
Yeah.
But anyway, Bradley won. Fleetwood came in second, tied with Russell Henley,
Yeah.
and Henley played a great tournament, I think. In the third round, he had a 61, so he was really doing well. And this week is the Rocket Mortgage
Oh,
tournament
hometown.
in Detroit,
Yeah.
and they've got quite a group.
Yeah.
They qualified. There's got to be 70 or 80 or more, and some pretty good players.
Nice.
So,
Did you know that there was one who played that as a kid who lives in Detroit? I didn't know that
Oh.
there was one. Hooks.
Hooks, yes.
Yeah. Now
Yeah.
here's Hooks 2 years ago playing well and getting up there into the thing. And then a crazy thing, I have never heard of this. As he's swinging one time, one of his ribs snaps out all the way, ripped all the way from the sheath there, and took him
Whoa.
totally not out of just playing there, but out of everything.
Wow.
Imagine having that rib just rip away from all of the
Oh,
the
yeah.
muscle.
Ribs are painful.
And they had to put it back in,
Yeah.
sew it back in, and so on. So last year he was very hurt about it, but he's back in it now, and he was interviewed on WXYZ at like 6 o'clock this morning. I saw it,
Oh,
and
rise and shine.
It's still a young
Joe Hooks won a tournament over the weekend at the Detroit Golf Club,
Nice.
Yeah.
and that qualified him. It says here 156 players
Wow.
are going to play,
Wow.
so
It's a nice
that's
field.
a big turnout.
Big number.
So,
And remember the scores that we saw at the U.S. Open a couple of weeks ago that were like 1 under, and
Right.
yeah, these players are now going to shoot like 300 on that course.
uh,
The Detroit Golf Club, I could shoot like a 250, and I haven't played golf in 2 years.
Oh, wow.
It's a really nice course to play.
it is, yeah.
but did you hear the weather forecast again?
No, I haven't, but
At
I.
the beginning of the week, of course, we know about the heat.
Right.
But then they're talking about severe
I
storms.
was saying Mother Nature has to make
Yeah.
up for it, doesn't she?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
And I
this
thought,
weekend?
Come on, Rocket Mortgage. I mean, that's why I wore red today is in commemoration of it. Like, come on, boys, give us a break
Yeah.
here in Detroit. But
Yeah.
sorry to say, it didn't work.
Yeah, well, maybe we'll, be able to see some of it Monday morning then. Who knows? With the rain delay.
If our TVs work.
Well, that's.
There
I
you
have
go.
no control over that, Chuck.
Well, Scheffler and Scheffler didn't look too good.
Yeah.
He was quite a ways down the line, and Jordan Spieth withdrew
Yeah.
after the second round. I think he hurt himself, but anyway,
They didn't say.
yeah.
Huh.
I guess they don't have to be.
No, no, they don't.
But anyway, that's the exciting news in the world of golf.
Hey, what about the payoff? Considering
well,
Prudential
they-
is so darn, so valuable, was that a good money deal?
This tournament, the purse was $20 million.
Wow.
So that's one of the better
Right.
purses. The winner got almost $4 million.
That's a nice,
Wow.
That's good.
So
That's
it
that's
was
a
good.
nice
a
4
big
days work.
payoff.
4
I
days
would
of
think-
work.
Yeah.
Pretty good.
Yeah.
I would take it.
In the tennis world,
Oh, yeah.
the Wimbledon tournament is starting to get notice, and that means that we're playing on grass,
There you go.
and that's a whole nother deal.
There you go.
You know, it's like I played on grass. I played at the Wilmington Country Club, which used to be a tennis court that they used for the Davis Cup.
Oh,
Oh,
Wow.
And I was when I worked in Delaware, I was part of a tennis team, and we'd go around and play them. And we went down to Wilmington and played that course.
Nice.
And it's almost like playing on a mattress. If you can
Wow.
imagine
Yeah.
playing tennis, it's so easy on the feet, but the ball takes funny bounces
yeah.
on the grass surface. So
Oh.
it'll be interesting seeing. That's a very important tournament in the world of tennis.
No doubt.
So we'll start seeing them warming up as we go along.
There you go.
All right, thanks, Rod. So we'll take a break. When we come back, we'll get the answer to our trivia question. Rod's got some more news on some high school sports as summer rolls on. The Michigan high school awards were given out in the last couple of days, so Rod's got that news for us. When we come back, right here on the Sports Guys on CTV. Uh-oh.
okay.
That's good.
Yeah, you got most of it in. Cool.
I just wonder how long the money is going to be floating around to go to see sporting events. I'm being just thinking out of my head. We're getting more people being laid off. You hear about that all the time.
Oh, yeah.
Big companies right now are going down. They're cutting back. That means the people who are working there, they may not have that kind of money to go to these sporting events.
Right.
It's going to be a big change for us.
You know, 'cause like I say, the thing is, they were talking about Kevin Durant going from, where did he go from? He went to the Rockets. And $150 million a year.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
I don't see how it can
$150
continue.
million.
So we think
Especially
they're
with all the TV money, it's not going to be where it was with cable going down.
Yeah.
So I don't.
Well,
The
that's it.
bubble
I mean,
splitting
It's just like everything. The bubble's going to burst.
yeah,
It
because I
just-
mean,
it
if
has
they're
to.
paying $10 billion for,
Right on set. Right on set.
Welcome back to the Sports Guys here on CTV for the week of June 23rd. And as we said before the break, the Michigan High School Athletic Association awards were handed out over the last couple of days, and Rod has that story for us. Rod.
Well, there were a lot of awards given in every sport imaginable, and I'm just going to mention the ones that are from the schools nearer our area,
Yeah.
where some of the helpers here may have either gone to or know people from. The boys' team of the year was Detroit Cass Tech.
All right.
Oh, okay.
Football team?
Yeah.
So that was interesting. The girls' basketball was Sydney Savory from Belleville.
Okay.
There you go.
And boys bowling, they even have bowling teams,
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
was Lyman Derrick from Wayne Memorial High School.
I saw him play actually, because my alma mater plays in the same conference. I got to see a little video of him playing. He's incredible.
Oh, wow.
He's really good.
Well, hockey was Nolan Kaminsky from Plymouth, Salem.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
So we may,
You'll be
who
right
knows,
at
we
the
may
Yeah.
see him
At
with
the-
the Red
Oh
Wings.
yeah. Oh yeah.
Boys swimming and diving was Evan Tack from the UAD Jesuit.
Okay.
And boys wrestling was Connor Burgoon from Catholic Central. Boys lacrosse was also from Catholic Central. Auckland Moffat.
Yeah, I'm pretty
Track and field was Jordan Smith from Belleville.
Here we go again.
Belleville's got a good athletic
Yeah, they do.
department.
Yeah, nice showing.
Because offensive football was guess who?
Hmm.
Yeah.
Bryce
Belleville.
Underwood.
Do
Yeah.
we get 3?
And this morning, they had a picture of him on the front page of the sports section, practicing with the U of M as one of their quarterbacks.
There you go.
And defensive football was Alex Graham from Cass Tech.
Graham.
Cool.
That
So, and Mick McCabe, who writes a lot about high school sports, was awarded a Lifetime Achievement
he
Award.
should.
There you go.
Good.
He should. After 20-some years. of
Yeah.
doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Nice.
Mick McCabe is a great writer.
Yeah.
So real quick, Lions released their schedule for their off-season training camp. So July 26th in Allen Park, they will have their back-together weekend for their season ticket holders. And then July 28th, general public will be admitted for training camp, and that goes through August 21st when they will have their last joint practice with the Houston Texans. And don't forget, they do play in the Hall of Fame game,
First game.
which is the first game of the preseason, so we'll look forward to that.
And they got the Chargers and Jim Harbaugh.
Yeah, so it's a little local flair to the, except you'll have to go down to
Way to
Canton,
do.
Ohio to see it.
That's it.
But that game will be, I think, on ESPN or NBC. I can't remember anymore.
Who knows?
Yeah, they changed
if they're running,
Yeah, they'll
Yes.
it'll be on television. I'm just not
Yeah,
sure.
Fawcett Field in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, and like we said, that's a beautiful facility. If you ever get a chance
It
to
is
go to the Hall
very
of
nice.
Fame,
It is gorgeous.
take a trip because it's worth it. So let's answer our trivia question. Trivia question was, since the
Ooh,
OKC Thunder won the NBA championship last night, when was the last time the Pistons won the title?
Not a clue.
86.
Rod,
it would just be a guess.
take a guess.
91.
Steve?
Yeah, 95.
Yeah, you're all way off.
Oh.
2004
Oh,
was the last time. It was the Going to Work Pistons. Rip Hamilton, Tayshaun Prince.
Yeah.
All them guys, they won the championship in 2004. So
okay.
little sooner
Yeah, it
than
was
you
a
would
little
thought.
newer than I thought. for
When was
sure.
the last time the Wings won a championship?
Yeah.
Oh, come
don't
on
wanna
now.
know.
2008. It's been a while.
Okay.
So that'll wrap up Sports Guys for this week. Don't forget we have our Friday special summer series episode with our special guest Pete Krupski from the National Team Development Program. He'll talk to us about his history, the Plymouth Whalers. He called the Plymouth Whalers for 15, 20 years. He's now the voice of the U.S. National under-18 and under-17 teams. And like I said, just so happens to be the day of the NHL draft, so we'll get to talk to him about some of the draft stock coming out of the United States Hockey League
Cool.
and just general hockey, some of his stories with some players who are in the NHL now. So that'll be a good time. So join the live studio audience. We start taping at noon, so get there at 11:45. Get there earlier if you want to join Steve for class. I'm sure he'd love to have you at
Why not? 10
strength
o'clock?
training before, so you can get your early seat for the live studio audience.
There you go.
So that'll wrap it up for Sports Guys for this week. We will see you on Friday, and we will have a full wrap-up of the week's sports. I'm Christian Gibbons. He's Steve. He's Chuck. And he's Rod. We'll see you next week. Have a good day.
nice day.
Bye-bye now.
Take care. Okay.